Hello, hello, hello. No clue about it. क्या हाल चाल है भाई लोग के? मैच कल पीआरएक्स ने जो जूसी का खड़ा होना बंद हो गया भाई। मतलब बहुत खड़ा हो रहा था पिस्टल राउंड में ही भाई। खड़ा हो रहा था बेचारे को, बहुत बहुत पिटाई पड़ी है। कोई नहीं खेल रहा आज, क्या हो गया भाई? ओ फेनेटिक वर्सेस वुल्फ है आज, आधे घंटे में एक मैच खेल कर देखेंगे वो, ठीक है?
Match found.
थैंक यू फॉर द लाइक, थैंक यू वेरी मच। लवजू स्प्लिट फील करता है यार, आज खेलने देते हैं लोगों को तो खेलना है। क्या बोलते हो, उमन ले लिया जाए क्या? मचा दिया जाए उमन लेके? अरे बेको वो लेने दो ना यार।
I am the beginning. I am the end.
डिफेंडिंग है भाई, पहले तो पूरा पीछे खेलना होगा।
The sanctuary is grateful for your support, Chamber, but do not expect any favors.
Of course, I only wish to help a friend, nothing more.
There.
Shadows traveling.
ओए 90-24, माय गॉड। रेज 90 मिड।
अबे आज
साइफर 80 मिड।
Last player standing. Spike planted.
win again.
मैं मार नहीं पाया उसको, तैयार नहीं था मैं शायद।
What do you say, drone? Ready to stretch your wings?
Shadows traveling.
Oh, 78, Rage 78.
Quiet now.
Last player standing.
I'm too far.
Left.
Spike planted.
अब मेरी बारी।
Do you see under my hood, Cypher? Does it scare you?
Does anyone have funds?
Does anyone have funds?
तो हेडशॉट मारा लेकिन मरा नहीं हुआ।
Cover going out. Enemy spotted A. Multiple enemies A. Stealing sight.
Spike planted.
40 bridge यहाँ पे है।
Still in sight.
Cover going
Still
out.
in sight.
Scanning ahead.
One enemy remaining.
Enemy spotted A.
Last player standing.
Shameful performance. Shadows traveling.
They couldn't kill us. Now they're dead.
क्या लगा तो मैं मार नहीं पाऊंगा। कुत्ता बना के मारा है मैंने। रेज को 3 बार मैंने मारा भाई, लेकिन मरा नहीं मेरे से यार, अजीब बात है।
I'm done with Cypher's secrets. Shadows traveling. Enemy spotted A. They found my trap.
हेवन
Cover going out.
Enemy spotted A.
Blinding. Not ready yet.
Shot down.
Spike planted.
Shot down. Reloading.
Silence.
One enemy remaining.
My ultimate is ready.
Reloading.
क्या लगा था मार नहीं पाऊंगा, कुत्ता बना दूंगा कुत्ता।
You failed.
क्या हुआ, 1 हफ्ता बाद मैं खेल रहा हूँ।
Again.
गेम सेंस बोलते भी
Anyone have funds?
ओए फंड। फुल शील्ड ले ले सोवा
अमन भाई दियो सोवा फुल शीट कर ले तो भाई सोवा फुल शीट
Let's dance. Cover going out.
Yeah. Also any B.
Here.
B baby, yeah.
वन 120 है दिए बन जाएगा ब्रिज 120
Stay. I know exactly where you are.
प्लांटिंग है
Spike planted.
लेफ्ट
Last player standing.
Watch them run when lit by my sonar. That's when we strike.
Bonne chance, mes amis. Shadows
B,
traveling.
B.
Enemy mid. Off your feet! Them run.
How did they do it? 39 now.
Spike planted.
You had your fun. My turn.
अरे आउट तक आओ एक मेन पे
व्हाट
मेन पे है
One enemy remaining.
बैठ जा
टीम पर बैठ नाइस मार नहीं पाया मैं उसको
Look your enemy in the eye. It helps with accuracy.
राउंड जितना पड़ेगा अपने को
Cover going out. Enemy spotted A. No distraction. Shadows traveling. Teleport's gone. Enemy spotted A.
No, इसको मार दो यार.
Still in sight. To dust.
Last player standing.
ओह ब्लाइंड था उसके पास
Oh, breach 145 tag है.
प्लांटिंग भी सामने मिलेगा तुम्हें अपने स्क्वाड
30 seconds left.
कॉल दिया था मैंने इसको यार बहुत लोग आया था ये
Which gun to pick this
जीत
time?
पाए राउंड भाई, कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
Does anyone have funds? Time's up. Let's go. Cover going out.
Eh.
Enemy spotted A. I am the hunter! Finish next. Focusing.
बहुत ही भागे वालों.
Cover going out.
ओ यार मेरे को पता था पास में होगा.
39 लो है, खेल किया ओवर लीडर. 39 क्लब लो है.
Spike planted.
Right here.
Last player standing. One
chance.
enemy remaining.
हाफ कर दे.
Back to work.
भाई ये नहीं करता तो अपन कंगाल हो जाते.
Instinct only goes so far. Skill covers the rest.
Does anyone have fun?
कवा इसको भाई देना जरा बैटरी. कवा
भाई रहना बात कर रहा है भाई.
कवा भाई मी. कवा भाई. कवा भाई. 아리가또 고자이마스.
Shadows traveling.
Still 142 भाई. 142 है रेस.
Still in sight.
Reload.
Still in sight.
Scanning. There.
डालो भाई. किधर जा रहे बता ना.
Had your fun. Spike down mid. Last player standing.
ये जा रहे हैं.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Revealing area.
65 टैग दिया था.
हाय यश भाई क्या हाल चाल है. कब तक खेलोगे? एक ही मैच खेलूंगा आज, उसके बाद मैच देखूंगा फैनेटिक वर्सेस वोल्व से.
them to strike.
भाई मेरे को सिर्फ रेस को मारना था यार, मार नहीं पाया मैं यश भाई. क्या है बोले.
Does anyone have funds? Cover going out. Can't go there.
Baby, हाँ. वाह यार वॉल.
Shadows traveling. Blinding.
Spike planted.
अरे यार ये हमेशा ऐसी जगह पे कैसे होता है? चलो यार भाई सेव कर दो, एचपी नहीं है। सर घूम गया, कैसे चल रहा था ये? अरे भाई पूरा दुनिया दिखा दिया भाई इसने।
Did anyone bring a snack?
ये राउंड में खुद निकालता हूँ।
It begins. Cover going out.
So close. All right, is ready to hunt.
I know exactly where you are.
Blinding.
आजा जल्दी।
Cover going out.
अरे यार
85
स्मोक के चक्कर में ही रह जा रहा हूँ मैं। राइट में साइफर है नीचे।
Last player standing.
किस्मत बहुत अच्छा है रेस का।
Last round before the switch.
Spend everything. We keep nothing.
Does anyone have funds?
I
need a gun.
So dead.
Thank you.
Kick them out.
The hunt begins. Traveling. Shadows off your feet.
Fire in the hole!
The rush. Enemy spotted.
भाई ये टीपी क्या था मेरा? मेरे को लगा मैं नीचे
One
जाऊंगा।
enemy remaining. Last player standing.
भाई उसी के पास है, वापस यहीं पे आएगा वो। भाई वो पीछे से आके मार के चला गया भाई। मैंने बोला भी इसको वापस यहीं पे आएगा वो।
Switching sides.
Trust me, they will make mistakes. When they do, take advantage.
स्मोक के चक्कर में ही रह जा रहा हूँ मैं भाई, क्या करूँ?
I need a gun. Thank you. I've done more with less. Keep fighting.
Cover going out.
Not enough.
Scanning ahead.
Enemy mid.
Enemy spotted B.
Cypher.
Shadows
क्या है
traveling.
55
Planted.
Reloading.
Last
अरे
player.
क्या है ये?
One enemy remaining.
3 souls.
भाई पे खेलता ना भाई.
My heart's racing.
रेना ही अपने में अच्छा खेल रहा भाई, बाकी सब हगरे ले भी.
Strike at their weak points. If one link breaks, the rest will follow.
फोर्स करो.
मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ?
I need a gun.
किस्मत अच्छी रही तो मैं फुल शील्ड लूंगा.
I will be their nightmare. Cover going out. Cover going out.
Cutting the vision.
Stand aside.
Scanning ahead.
One enemy remaining.
Light planted. There they are. Okay, quick break.
They demand a fight. Who are we to disobey?
देखा, घुस के मारा ना बीर उसको मैंने.
Ready.
Shadows traveling.
Focusing.
Cover going out.
Cutting the vision. Reloading.
Not there.
One enemy remaining.
Heaven. Mental is dead.
Phantom है.
Oh, I am not cleaning this up.
बहुत जल्दी आ Phantom पड़ा सारा.
What do we learn by fighting ourselves?
Reloading.
Thinking out loud.
ये ओमन अपना Phantom जल्दी. सब दे दो यार. बाय.
I need this.
Does anyone have funds? Merci.
फुल शील्ड ले ले यार सुबह.
Okay.
Oh wow, by full speed.
Shadows traveling. Cover going out. I have the spike.
Still inside.
Spike down A.
अरे क्या है?
भाई लेफ्ट राइट स्टैक्ड अप है.
Target down.
साइड में साइड.
My ult is ready.
Last player standing.
राइट हैंड साइड है.
नहीं ब्लैक ने ट्राई तो अच्छा किया था.
When we go out there, someone dies. Carry that weight.
I need this.
Does anyone have funds? Merci.
ओमन का कोई बाय
I need
दे रे.
this.
वाह बाय दे. वाह बाय फॉर बाय ओमन.
Thank you. Claw through them. Cover going out.
Revealing area. Deploying drone.
रोटेट करो.
Cutting their vision.
रोटेट करते हैं.
Reloading.
Shadows traveling.
7 पे है ओमन ध्यान से.
Is dead.
Spike down A.
Reloading.
I have the spike.
Thirty seconds left.
एक ही होगा यहाँ पे.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
Stay taut as a bowstring.
Fast
Oh, can you buy me vendor please? लाइट शील्ड करके बाय कर देते भाई.
No distractions.
Cover going out.
Fall.
Cover going out.
Enemy A.
Enemy spotted B. Great.
Spike planted.
Off your feet!
One enemy remaining.
I don't die so easily.
Easy.
Level heads until we're home, yes? Good. Reloading.
I need a gun.
Kova, can you buy? Hello. मेरे slow network. ओमन दे देगा भाई. ओमन से भाई मांग ले कोई.
Eyes up.
Shadows traveling.
I have the spike.
Shadows traveling. Fire in the hole!
Gray dead.
7 पे.
Enemy A. Spike planted. My spike planted.
One enemy remaining.
The symphony of death. Don't worry.
एक और बारी. ये भी निकल. मिड टू भी करते हैं आप.
Good luck.
Cover going out. Barrier is dead.
Spike down mid.
तो आके रोटेट करो. ऐसा रोटेट निकाले.
Run.
और कर देते हो.
Spike planted. Shadows traveling.
Mid went.
One enemy remaining.
नीचे कूदा
नीचे कर
ब्लाइंड कर
Stealing sight.
नाइस
Find it.
Act on my intel. Don't give them time to reposition.
Does anyone have funds? Merci.
Coward, run. Shadows. The fun begins. Cover going out.
आ जाओ ना साथ में कभी तो क्या पूरा टीम पीछे बैठ रहा है भाई
You had your fun. Spike down A.
I have the spike. Shadows traveling.
साइड ही में लास्ट
Last player standing.
Moving ahead.
Spike down A.
ए स्लो प्रोसेसर
Every fight is a lesson.
I need a gun. Thank you. I need a gun.
भाई दे देगा मैंने इसको
Thank you.
पूरी हो तू
Take them one by one.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
My ult is ready. I have the spike. No distraction.
125 सर
My ult is ready.
बैक साइड अटैक
They are so dead.
Last player standing. Spike down B. Match point.
My city needs me. I can't be away for long. It's in the city.
Focus now. Eyes off me.
Cover going out.
Focusing.
Shadows traveling.
You're not a safe coward.
Shock dart.
I know exactly where you are.
Spike down A.
अरे यार
85 पर है 80 रेन है
Last player
Oh my
standing.
God, भाई बहुत जोर लगा है
Defenders win.
कल परसों ये मैच जीतने था अपने को, लेकिन अपन ने बहुत हका।
Are going to be some ramifications here, because what I'm seeing is the Paper X that's in a position to maybe overtake T1 and even this lower final match.
This and that, you can only wonder.
They would have still been knocked out, but
Last year, we're fine. It's like
An absolute massive amount, and I think it's good to see that Paper X are definitely going to skyrocket. Most of the teams will.
ब्रांड में 2026 खरीदना लगेगा कि और या तो कुछ ना चाहिए पर गाड़ियों बना नहीं सकता अगले ये थोड़ा ओवर है इसको कम फैक्शन कॉम्बिनेशन वाले लुक्स है को इस्तेमाल चल रही है इसके अगले से
Match found.
तो अपन भाई अपना फेवरेट खेलेंगे.
You have good taste, my friend.
सुबह के सुबह.
अबे यार इसमें तो मैं कुछ कर सकता हूँ.
Recently got banned on Valorant.
There's truth in every dream, if you dig deep enough.
Let's find out what they buried.
I'm out of here.
There.
That works.
इलायची आया भाई.
There.
Start.
Enemy spotted. B.
वाइट का सेटअप होगा. 7 सेकंड मेरे बीच आ जा लेफ्ट साइड हार्ट पीछे
Spike planted.
लो आ जा पीछे आ जा. अरे भाई
Last player standing.
अरे यार. भाई ये रहना थोड़ा दिमाग का दे.
That Yoru looks pissed all the time. Honestly, it's impressive.
आ जा
फाइट क्यों नहीं लिया लेकिन.
मैं प्रॉब्लम डालूंगा उसके साथ घुसता. एक मारे हो जाएगा. चेंबर इसको देखेगा तू. 8 सपोर्ट देखना ना बस चेंबर. एक इधर स्मोक चाहिए इसका.
Let's go.
तार डाल कर रख दे.
Here.
Enemy spotted. B.
Low it.
Right there.
नीचे ही
Last player standing. Spike down mid. Long.
Reina,
भाई मेरे
just
को
stay in
चेंबर
your
के अलावा
lane,
कुछ करना
Shawan
नहीं आता
girl.
इस मैप पे तुरंत इंस्टेंट लॉक कर लिया उसको
Reloading.
भाई तो सीखना चाहिए ना दूसरा मैप तेरा कोई एजेंट सीखना चाहिए ना हर एक मैप के लिए
आठ जाएगा तो बोले इधर से रिवील देता हूँ मैं जाता हूँ
There.
एक नहीं दो बंदे चल थर्ड लेना कम से कम
Gotta go.
बोला तो रिवील दूंगा ठीक है
Where are you? Mark one. Bring them down. Take hold. Fish concealment.
चल और पीछे चल
Enemy spotted A.
साइड है तो आर्ट है
एक मिड पे है मरना मत एक मिड पे
तो वॉकर
एक स्टार डाल दे एक स्टार डाल दे
Teleport's ready.
Enemy mid. Spike planted. İyi geceler. Enemy mid.
One enemy remaining.
ठीक है तो एक सिटी से
नीचे खेल चैम्बर टाइम खेल बस टाइम खेलने मैं आ रहा हूँ 18 सेकंड में रिवील
Teleport's ready.
तू पहले पिक करना मैं बाद में पिक करूंगा ठीक है पता नहीं मैं किधर हूँ
कर सकते हो
मेरे पे रिवील है 6 सेकंड में रिवील है समझे
I'll find you. Careful here.
Last player standing.
My ult is ready.
ए आजा मेरे पे आ जा ठीक है तो एक बार टीपी डालना
You see,
टीपी डाल के वॉल
there's
वेट
still
कराना
plenty of
पीछे आना
fun to be had.
मैं फिर स्टार्ट
Out of charges.
For you, hermanita. Bring them down. Taking that back. Reloading. Bring them down. Next. No concealment. Nightmare, take them.
That's not ready.
Where are concealment?
Marked once.
Here. Here.
Spike planted.
80
Teleport's ready.
There. There.
One enemy remaining.
So much for their elite agents.
Pry open their minds. Find the weakness. Need a drop. Midasi. Thanks.
Anyone feeling generous? Teşekkürler. Thank you. There. Fight
That's a good
harder.
start.
उसमें
Enemy B.
They found my trap. I have the spike.
Enemy A.
My ult's ready. Nice try. My ult's ready.
One enemy remaining.
That's not ready.
There.
Spike planted.
Here.
Teleport's ready. I'm too far. I'm too far.
डबल डोर है.
Go, go, go!
I know your game.
They have courage, but no fear. Go, go, go! Need a drop. Thank you.
That works.
Gotta go.
Attackers win.
Charlie, don't insult my personality.
भाई ये मैच भी कह रहा है कि भैया खेल लो अपना. इस चीज में क्या? ओ यार अपने को मैच देखना है भाई. क्या चल रहा है? ओ वोलोरिन बनी से भाई.
Been seeing these guys.
क्या हो रहा है भाई ये?
Subness. Is it Kotek MF?
Struggling a little bit with the ISO if he doesn't start very, very strong. With Haven being
Nice.
out of it, and the performance that these two are showing, you have to be the next thing of scared if you face off against this Chronicle. There was a moment in time where he was thought
ये
to
तो
be
पुराना
the
मैच
best
दिखा रहा है भाई.
player in the planet.
And he's also the winningest player in Valorant. If you take a look at the trophies, you can see just how many achievements Fnatic has. This is global trophies, this is international trophies as well for all of their players. They have been on these stages. They have won on these stages before against the Wolves that has never won a trophy as a team. The only achievement that they have of that level was Juicy back when he won Ascension, but that is a complete tier lower than these achievements that Fnatic are putting out.
Yo, Kayak also won Ascension. Where's that?
There you go.
Yo, he has the same achievement as Crashy. Just saying.
But I think also this demonstrates not that Wolves cannot win this game, but that there is an enormous experience difference between these two teams. You have all of these players that combine together to have just a might of experience. They are a juggernaut roster. That doesn't mean that they're going to win, but it means that in high-pressure scenarios, when a play needs to be made, they've just got so much more experience of how these matches happen, how to pace themselves throughout a BO5, how to brush off losses in maps, how to adjust based on what their opponents are doing. It is going to be so tough for Wolves, but the whole tournament's been tough for Wolves, and they're still here.
And that's why I think that even though we've already had a miracle run this year with T1 winning Masters Bangkok, this would be even more impressive because that T1 roster had players who historically had achieved these great things before in Valorant or in other games past. This Wolves team, I imagine most of you here didn't know half of these players before they showed up to this event and started to win. This would be, I think, the craziest left field team to go on a run like this. Maybe since like Zeta Division, but they ended here in the lower finals, back in Reykjavik. Wolves could go even further.
You know what's really interesting about this, Kakuka, is that when you talk to the Fnatic guys, they're not putting that pressure on themselves here. And I think that's actually kind of scary because you can see that sea of achievements that they have managed to build up over the course of their careers, and yet they're here and they're like, hey, you know what? Just round after round, we go next. We just figure it out. It really is startling, and it's good to see.
I think they need to be realistic after the year that they had in 2024 and how they began this year. They also spoke this tournament about them just trying to, you know, test the waters again. How do we look in a global stage again against all of these opponents? But right now, these two teams have gone from the, okay, let's see how it goes, to a Wolves that has been extremely humble on anything from here is a win. We've already overachieved and overexceeded our expectations. Everything is just like a gift. But for Fnatic, they are surprisingly on the same line.
Yeah, for Fnatic too, it's so interesting that you have greatest of all time IGL, most winning player in Chronicle, and yet this team is just looking to try to push the needle even further along. That no one was talking about them coming into this tournament as the best team in the world, but they could be.
Yeah, they could very well come out of this one with everyone talking about them. But folks, we've got a BO5 showdown, and the winner is going to be moving on to tomorrow's grand finals, where Paper Rex is awaiting. This is the moment. It's now time. The Masters Toronto lower bracket final starts right now.
The majority of Valorant is a mental game.
He's already taken out Alpha, Chronicle to Heaven player, late flank round, and now Boaster. Last one left to do it all. Nothing else to delay, it comes down to random spams, it comes down to the clutch, and Boaster might have just done it all. Whoa!
You can't focus on the losses or focus on the mistakes.
Nice try, all good, main team bro, main team.
Because if you don't move on, then you're gonna end up losing the game.
It's a last-ditch effort. That's all it's looking to be. Beautiful from Fnatic.
Using my past experiences and dealing with whatever is at hand. That's what I'm here for now.
It's been one hell of a lower bracket run so far from a legendary core.
It's been a while since I've been top 3.
There were questions how well Crashies would fit in, playing not with the Optic Core for the first time, but by all accounts, he has been so good on this roster.
I'm happy for Kayak. His first international tournament, he's already top 3. And especially to do it with this team, my brothers. Obviously, it just feels amazing.
Maybe a mistake made by the Wolves. Lights are asked so much of. And he falls.
我觉得对于我们来说没关系，起码对于我也更加没关系。
2-0 victory over Wolves. Got to come away from this series with their heads held high if you're Wolves. Yes, they're certainly not done yet.
因为经过这次的失败，我会更加有信心，知道怎么去赢下那个比赛。我希望狼队以一个面对逆境，就算最不被人家看好，我们也不会放弃，并且勇于面对强敌的态度的方式被记住吧。
It's one of the greatest underdog stories ever told on a global stage.
因为我们从垫底到了今天，这一路走来真的很不容易，所以不用管别人怎么去看待我们，因为打的是我们。我们狼队已经不需要再证明什么东西了，因为我们已经证明了给全部人看，我们是一支不能被看小的队伍。
We're not looking for just top 3. It's time to take over.
其实我最想跟我的队友们说，辛苦你们，你们终于来到了这里。其实我们已经没有什么好遗憾的了，因为你们在我心目中已经是世界冠军，你们每一个。面对逆境，永不放弃。
If I heard the Wolves were hungry, come and get it.
It's a classic David versus Goliath story. Does David have what it takes to suck out Goliath with a right hook? Or will Goliath smash him like a bug here today? The question on everyone's minds is who rises to the top and who will punch their ticket to the grand final.
Fnatic, they were the greatest team in Valorant in 2023. They didn't have the performance they wanted last year, missed out on Bangkok, but now here, a chance to make another final and a BO5 ahead of them. This is their comfortable territory.
Absolutely. As we take a look at the Omen map select, we see no surprises in the vetoes. Fnatic, they still banned that Pearl. If they are to win today, cannot wait to see it tomorrow. Wolves banning the Haven, and Fnatic, just like in the MEA, just in every time they have the chance, pick Split as their first map.
I love the fact that we're getting to see Split though, because I think that's been one of the best maps for Wolves as well. I think they've got great ideas on their attack and their defense side. So we're going to begin with a banger to open.
We're going to be the success opportunities here for Wolves to try and see if they can get themselves further along this series, Sideshow.
It's got to be Spring. I mean, when Spring is on the attack side, he sets up for these Viper lurks through B main, and Fnatic have got to have game plans to shut that down. When they're on the defense side as well, I don't think you can let Fnatic get into a post plan because they play those situations perfectly. So I want to see Wolves on the first half fighting up at the choke points.
Yeah, they're really good when they're doing that. On their defensive side as well, Wolves likes to flood retake a lot more than Fnatic does. They're almost always throwing down anchor smokes, trying to get into these sites and not let Fnatic play those post plans. But for Fnatic, super retake heavy team, super structured. When you let them play those set retakes, they're very strong in those positions.
I love, Joshua, you were mentioning how good of a record Wolves have had in this map, because this was one of the maps where they managed to come back against Gen G, and it was from that defense. After a defeating 9-3 for the side of Gen G, of course, they had to come back, and they did it in 10-2 fashion. This is something that they have to replicate today, and with them starting on the defense, they have to start with good footing. They have to force Fnatic into making those mistakes and punishing them.
We've been talking a lot about redemption at this tournament, and I think it doesn't quite fit today. What you've got is one team making a grand entrance onto the global stage, and another team making a resurgence. But whoever wins is going to become the antagonist to the Paper Rex redemption story. And so what you're witnessing here is maybe the birth of a villain. Whoever it is, they're going to be going into the grand finals with, I think, a lot of the crowd, maybe even rooting against them. And today, it feels like people are behind Wolves when you're just looking at what the people in the crowd are rooting for.
It's an interesting flip here for a tournament here in North America. G2, they go home yesterday in top 4, not where they would have wanted to exit. And now Crashies, the guy who was always one of the greatest players coming from North America, was so successful on Optic before the partnership era, didn't even have any opportunity for an NA team to sign him into Tier 1, had to fly all the way to Europe, take this opportunity with Fnatic. So if there's someone here for redemption, I think it is Crashies.
Fnatic welcomed him with open arms, and he reciprocated in kind. Now let's see what's going on with this agent select, if we get any surprises here, but I don't think so, Kukuka. When you're this close to the finish line, you gotta play, you gotta do the thing that brought you to the dance.
Absolutely, and this is where we're going to see the preparation for both of the teams. We're speaking about show-ins. That is also a lot of vaults, a lot of tells, a lot of different defaults that you can adapt to. It doesn't matter where you are on the map, you have to learn your opponents.
I mean, take a look in this first half at Kayak's control in B main and Alpha Air trying to find fights on A ramp. Wolves are going to need a game plan to shut that down. Whether it's somebody fighting Alpha, and God help you if you try, or if it's a plan to try to re-clear and put bodies there and surprise them. But I think the two duelists are going to be on opposite sides of the map, and Wolves have an opportunity to try to either contest them or give them space.
Yeah, Alpha's definitely going to be my player to watch here, maybe because he has been unbelievable. But on the other side to that, you do got to consider, what can Spring bring to the table? What can Juicy bring to the table? A lot of weapons on both sides of the field.
I want to see more from Juicy. He's had a couple good matches this tournament thus far, but he hasn't been a standout in the same way that a guy like Spring has been showing up. That guy less than a year ago was kind of missing out on his opportunity to play Tier 1, being too young to compete after winning Ascension. Now here in what has to be the biggest game of his career, it's a rise to the occasion against some of the best duelist players that Fnatic could possibly bring.
And Fnatic having two duelists in this map, I think that we also need to look at YU. He had an amazing performance yesterday. All things considered, he did show up. With two duelists, those traps are going to be extremely important.
All right, baby, Toronto, let's make some noise as we get ready for the lower bracket final and send it over to two of the greatest
Puck on the mic.
Thank you, GB, and you're right. This is going to be a belting game, but we're in the big leagues now, right? This is looking at finals, trying to get into those grand finals, best of 5. This is a new discipline for some of these players.
It really is, and we're asking for another tall order of Wolves. We keep talking about this run, how they've continued to stride from success to success, obviously now coming up against another Goliath, as GB put it, in the form of Fnatic. And all eyes here for me, first half, go towards YU and Spring, their ability to really kind of mitigate this comp from Fnatic early on in the rounds. Try and carry that home. Obviously the Gen G scoreline does sit in the back of your mind.
Can't ignore it. But for Fnatic, they've been here before. They've felt these final stages. They've thrived. The Wolves, new territory, and a new danger in the form of Kayak and Alpha, sliding into the site like it was nothing. Already a clear-cut approach for Fnatic as the plant's next.
Waiting for Spring, expects actually just missing him. Maybe now going to come back and recheck, but actually Spring shows himself. Chronicle wins out, gets himself a little upgrade as well.
Oh, God, and Kayak, he's on it today. Yeah, he's on it today. If he's going to be firing like that, Mike, the Wolves are going to have to be really answering back in kind, because as said, when we talk about it, and the desk was kind of alluding to it as well, it's this comfort in high pressure scenarios. Yeah. They've been here so often, they know that feeling. And yeah, look, they've had a moment out of the sun, right? They've not had the results they needed. Roster changes coming in, players coming in. They look all the stronger for it now.
Absolutely, and we're really talking about that almost dynasty core of Fnatic that's still here. The new members to complement that. Themselves on the board here. Start split. Almost rinse and repeat here. Going to really test this A site hold once more. There's 2 pistols to bring in here for Boaster and Alpha, but well invested elsewhere. It's almost like carbon copy here of the same execute. Maybe something in the prep they've seen to potentially exploit. Straight away for the first buy round, we may be looking for an adjustment from Wolves.
And again, this is where we question depth when it comes to Wolves as well. When someone's really worked you out, how are you going to be able to adapt to that? How do you look at that?
I mean, it's rare to win a veto versus a team like Fnatic, to be honest. And then, obviously, prepping a short turnaround here in Toronto. That's the farming comes through. Kayak and crashes to find everything. Just YU left now.
YU, it feels like a cold start for Wolves here. Fnatic, they're at the throats, Mike. They're not
coming
taking...
for blood.
They are, right? They won that grand finals. You heard it before. Yeah, I think it was Boaster in the interview as well saying, look, G2, get out of our way. We want those finals. You know, we know how to handle that. This is just another opponent on their ladder to that grand final. So for them, there isn't going to be a respect given. There isn't going to be a slowdown. They're out for blood.
Back to one of the ancient mantras for Fnatic, which is get that goat to Sunday. Get Chronicle to the grand finals again.
Isolate and exterminate.
And it's been cold for Wolves as beginning. Only 2 managing to draw blood yet. Need to see them warm into this, right? Let's see what they can bring once they start feeling out the game. Only a pistol, but this one's big because it is the bonus now. And Lysol was unaware that someone slipped ahead.
Tested here, potentially. Alpha progresses any further. See on the cycle of the smokes, maybe a reposition here from Fnatic. Another player slipping forward. Cover going out. Gotta be careful now.
Curious, Mike.
But you can see already the adjustment from the first 2 rounds. 3 members of Wolves dedicated towards A in the early round. Now, see Fat BB on the rotate. Well, I saw actually caught with a stun, but
good timing on the paranoia though, at least. And he's trying to get back into the thick of things. But the
we got caught by the reveal.
Yeah, he's going to be captured. Absolutely seen. And the site gets taken. Really nice scaling up on that. Again, using the clone to test towards middle at the same time. Splitting that attention. Now, 3 players from Wolves have to try and get back in this. Utility-wise, you look at a Juicy. Maybe able to carve a way into this. Maybe springboard forward. But Crashes wants to get involved. Fnatic not even really giving them much of the site here. Happy to play a little bit of a challenge, but falling away towards main. Kayak on the cross, going to get punished. YU does well. 3 more to find now in an even affair, but it is still a bonus. Juicy on the swing, and now we sit into the post. So they have here to buy the time. Shot from Kron. Yeah, not looking phased just yet. Still that util with Boaster that they're able to run through, but now around the world coming in. Oh, the cross!
Why?
He'll do
bonus conversion on top. Fnatic off to a flying start. Wolves able to find a couple of responses here. Wrath for Lysor to get caught by that reveal. Just gets spammed out immediately by Kayak. The site will follow. Beautiful work though. I mean, the time you saw the drift, you saw just on the X-ray YU a second glance up towards Mail. That's when Crashy springs. Knows he might have a favourable engagement onto the defuse.
And then the question keeps getting asked, right? When's that first round to break back in for Wolves? Feeling a little shut out here. It is now a marathon though, right? We are in best of 5, so we hold it to a little bit of a different start. The cold beginnings are cold. Lovely reveal again. I mean, look, Crashies did well to close out that final round last year, a moment ago, but his reveals have been solid. Doing what he needs. This time, Super Beanie showing Crashies to his seat. Yeah, look at a Kayak, Kron, and Ghost. Why are you still close by? Thought there was a chance there for him, but Fnatic, seeing them having a bit too much fun, decided against it. And look at the final 2 players. Juicy still super far away, so it's on Lysor really. And patience being displayed from Fnatic. No real need for a hurry. Still 50 seconds. Quite pacey from Fnatic.
Just letting things slow down now. Just in case there's further aggression behind this. Try and isolate a player. Lysor can get a little funky with the smokes, but I doubt on an anti-eco anybody's going to be exploring into this guy. Close and personal, still wins out. It's just Juicy now. We'll find an upgrade. Did have a Bucky before this. Still got decent util as well.
30 seconds left. Yeah, that pain shell could be big actually. Kayak's HP is going to be a small factor. Seems to be forced away to the other side of Pillar, but the second time with the plant there, Boaster still preparing the boys. You can see Juicy then looking for a new option, right? But does it feel good to go against Kron? I don't know. As I said, this guy gets better and better the deeper into the tournament you go. And he's calm, collected, disciplined. Fnatic not really breaking a sweat yet.
Yeah, even that scenario with the bonus being converted, is, I mean, there's no consolations to find. Maybe a few deaths under an alpha on the side of Fnatic. It'll be an early timeout here from Wolves.
Yeah.
Just to reconsider their approach potentially.
They do need to get a grip on something here, because it does feel like Fnatic came in with...
actually saying we're too calm.
Yeah, and that kind of, if you didn't hear it, about this, they haven't felt any resistance. Just to give you an update on the board, 9-1 for Kayak, 5-1 for Crashies, 4-1 for Kron. We haven't even needed Alpha, right? Which is a wild statement to say. He's been doing perfectly fine, they've been doing their job. But again, there's just not been any fight back. For Wolves, it's an early timeout. A cold start can just really bring the mood down. Got to get back in this one. Got to find some stability. Sufit BB's been doing the best he can, right? You're looking at probably the only one so far to really find a bit of resilience. But I need to see them, maybe start taking some space here, start fighting back here. Maybe challenge some of that main control. Easier said than done. Said Fnatic, very composed in these sort of rounds, in these sort of games, in these sort of maps. So, the Wolves, do you take the bait?
Considering now, potentially one of the answers. Maybe getting a little proactive, but we know Wolves have liked to dial into that slower pace, and this goes here. I guess playing towards kind of, particularly in the Paper X series, waiting for Paper X to overstep the mark and punishing those oversteps. Fnatic not really. I saw the team, they read into it so well.
The control we've been seeing from Fnatic has been rather exceptional. And I know it's not necessarily the flashiest of Valorant, if I'm honest. I think we can see it. It's patient, it's calm, it's slow and methodical, but it gets the job done. It's worked wonders to get them to this point. And we know they can kick it up a gear. Hell, I think all of us have seen what Alpha can do when the timing's right. Kayak, right? Yeah. They have it there. But for now, they want to play to the win cons, right? They want to play that percentage Valorant, and they're doing it. Kayak, early investment of the ult here, trailblazing away straight up through heaven. Has a glance, should get a little bit of info. There's nothing on site, time to commit.
It's the right decision from Wolves as well. Really test the 5v5 in the retake. Both trips still in play here, but nobody in a position to capitalize off that. We'll actually get a clean plant off this, other than the snakebite landing.
I'm waiting to see that lurk though as well. We saw that Boaster was willing to do the around the world. This time obviously very on site. So it probably comes down to Kron Not going to come through. That's a big connection. Kron is going to show his hand as well. That's going to be a thought in the back of their minds now for this retake. Kayak can be on that close corner. Nice shot. Tries to swing CT, gets denied. As Lysor now builds back in on the side. Boaster might have been seen on that, not sure. But he tries to readjust. Crashies holding well towards Pillar. Good timing from Kron. And speaking of timing, that snake bite should prove a problem. See that BD has to go big. And it's Kron on the other side, the original Iceman himself.
Wow.
As ever, Chronicle the ultimate champion in these scenarios.
भाई कल जो ठुकाई पिटाई हुई है ना वोल्स की PRX से
able to draw blood here in the retake.
बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस डाउन है उनका.
Backline, the last line of defense for Fnatic delivering. Here with Kayak funny the adjustment. Fantastic work to take first contact here.
Last player standing. My ult is ready.
One I think Wolves kind of read into this, maybe a little bit of prep in terms of conceding the site here. See now, getting to the territory of discussing the funds really to justify some of these early set pieces, especially with the scoreline. It's full recovery mode for Wolves.
Again, this discipline that's been instilled into Wolves, or this kind of, I guess, conditioning over towards A, right? Like maybe this is not a bad idea in this sort of round to make a bit of a hazard of a guess, right? Push out, see what it looks like if we do try and play ahead of these walls. How is this going to look like if we do it in a rifle round? But now though, Fnatic, it's just correct steps. It's a flawless beginning. I mean, yes, CFAT BB has been doing okay, right? Couple of kills here and there, but nothing that's threatened around.
A से वापस rotate करके आ रहे हैं लोग.
And once again, it's probably going to be Kron who hears this.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of information. I'm not sure they've got the confirmation on YU, but now we'll find it on to Spring at least.
You could just see him calling that out. You saw it on the cam. Oh, he's just walking on forward. Kron makes this look just too simple so far. And Alpha got teed up with the information. Fed by Kron. Nice shot from Juicy. Need a couple more of those, though. As now you look at the reposition, it feels like we've switched sides.
Yeah, so no chance really of exits to be found here. The only consolation being in the rifle. I mean, Juicy went away from the showstopper. Almost hope on the buy round in the next that he'd look for a kill here. He might just settle for the rifle. Bam comes through, Kayak not going to be caught on the escape nearly. It'll be a 6th now for Fnatic. An ultimate Stein to come online. See you, Fat BB. I mean, Springs being the key one, really to slow down. I mean, right place, right time scenario, but stop Fnatic setting up. Act as a deterrent towards one of these sites. Not been too much of an exploration towards mid. It's been Chronicle really as the complementary piece in that regard. So maybe an opportunity for Wolves there. They try and isolate him once more, but Fnatic, again, they always love showing a lurk and then putting an extra 2 players behind it in the next few rounds.
Yeah, it's just like, are you sure you want to test that? Are you certain? It looked like there was a little set piece in mind there, or at least maybe a set beginning. As Wolves looking to brawl out a bit, right? Take control towards B main and really posture up on it. Now, it's hard to do that though when you're sat at 0 to 6, right? To feel confident, to feel bold to make these plays. But they have at least slowed down Fnatic's approach. But it's a different look here. This 2-2-1 almost leaving again. Kron out on the lurk on A, but 2 players testing towards middle.
Stop online now for Alpha. Probably the main objective in the early round for Fnatic. Now we see 3 for Wolves grouped up here and doing exactly what I was talking about. Maybe like an exploration towards mid here and a chance to get behind Fnatic.
It feels half-hearted though to an extent. I'd have loved to see a bit more behind that, but surely now, with that catching on minimum 3, they continue. Juicy's Juicy could be on for an absolute belter. Brilliant on one, takes away Boaster. Big scalp to claim, and another confirmation of attendance towards B main.
Moving that, I think Fnatic might still just decide to carry on through. Showstopper sent.
30 seconds left.
That's who response comes to. Juicy.
It's only Alpha.
Does he go for it?
It's only Alpha on the side. The rest still biding their time. And then look towards middle. Kayak creeping closer. Gonna catch one, and now they're locked in there with Fnatic. Juicy trying.
My God, yaar.
Just elevating again. Those mid looks coming out from Kayak then. Lovely layering. So Lysor, you've got a Paranoia and 3 players. 2 kills so far. To more than double to get a shot at this. Fnatic gonna, well, at least be put down to 2 here. Kayak gone and the emergency alarm ringing.
Respect shown here to Lysor. The pick goes up, potentially to seal the deal on round 7.
I like that. Come on, Lysor. You've got to find 2 more. Decides to go for the paranoia on the right side. He hazarded a guess, but for Alpha it was all too easy. And again, even though there was a moment of danger there, Fnatic still had layers to call in, right?
So many contingencies, all things considered. Even here, said there was a gap, there was no backline really for Fnatic. I think they were ready to commit ahead of. You see Fat BB sending a nightfall through. Yes, Boaster falls, but like I said, those contingencies always in place. Maybe an extra body for Wolves there. Like I said, you really do want to see them try and isolate a player.
लुकस भाई अनइंस्टॉल कर दिया क्या? नहीं भाई, अभी मास्टर्स देखने में जो मजा आ रहा है ना, लुकस भाई क्या ही बोलूं मैं। कल PRX और वुल्व्स का मैच देखते ना, ओहो।
Slow the tempo.
Kaya hadn't slipped through like this until now, so Juicy completely unawares. Look at this tailor-made poison. Juicy should be dead to rights. It was gorgeous, Mike.
What do you do? If you're Juicy there, you're just overwhelmed. Smothered in utility.
The C's lovely, every part of it. Just set up to win out. And they did this at about that minute mark, so they still have plenty of time to walk away, decide on a new look, because again, for Wolves, they've bitten on this, right? They pulled that rotate over towards A.
Toxin screen down.
Still got IU set up towards B, but it hasn't really paid off. They've not been in a position to punish these strips. The rotations come through. There will be bodies here for Wolves.
You are divided.
The divide will cut sound, cut sight lines as well.
Lots of space for Fnatic. The Wolves, dangerous, just try and walk back in. Oh dear, Kron again, man. I don't know how much he can see from that actively, but
time's going to run out regardless, but
they're still not going to clear it comfortably.
Very nice. Oh my god, yeah.
Takes away Kayak, denying the trade. So maybe an opportunity. Now the pick comes in. Similar scenes to before, but this time it's Wolves. Alpha flies forward, still giving them numbers advantage. A Spring feeling rough around the edges, but that's beautiful. Needs 4. Asked a lot of the Boaster.
Boaster stepped. You heard him.
Been given away, the shot in the dark here, the reload, we've been here before. Diffuse, does Boaster panic? The crowd roaring for it, and Boaster tested again. Spring though, down to the wire.
भाई साहब क्या हो रहा है ये?
Played the time.
भाई क्या हो रहा है ये?
A chance potentially for Spring to close out. Again, between Alpha and Crash, he's just running the clock down enough.
One enemy remains. Come on.
To put Boaster in a position to secure the round. We'll draw another timeout second in the first half here for Wolves. As this has spiraled out of control for them.
Certainly has.
There's Remnants really. The Gen G scoreline once more, yes. Asking for a comeback, but talk about the resilience of Wolves. They've shown it. They've shown they can play from behind.
I love you too. Yeah, this is a scary predicament for Wolves, right? Because it does feel like, again, their earlier games, you're just on that
8-0 by 8-0.
Feeling fantastic. Your players are hitting shots. I said Cinderella run.
We're in a very different situation now, though, where it's like best of 5. Last chance to get to the grand finals. This is a very, very different climate for Wolves to try and thrive in.
And more experienced teams falter in these scenarios. Hell, you look at Heretics, sorry to bring them back from the dead, but God, you put them in a best of 5. They absolutely shy away from it. It is a different level at this point. So it is hard. And then you look at arguably probably one of the hardest opponents to come up against, who have the most storied history. It's Fnatic. You've got literally some of the players who truly thrive in these, like Chronicle, on the other side. So for Wolves, it is never going to be easy, but you don't want to see them go down like this.
Definitely not. A long series today, potentially.
Oh, yeah.
Fnatic again. Slow approach towards ARAM. Juicy potentially tested once more. Again, with this default, not expecting any sort of commitment too early on. Drawn an extra man already though. 4 bodies for Wolves. Over on the A side of the map.
Yeah, but now they're doubting it as well, right? Is that it's so hard to have faith in what you're seeing. This is a double fake. And it's beautiful. Look what it's done.
Yeah.
You're watching a master at work, Mike.
And this is kind of that panic sort of play style where they're kind of biting onto everything they see. Kayak will fall, but
hey,
Fnatic's still waiting to potentially catch somebody.
The ult's going to give it away,
but they're not here.
Yeah, Fnatic probably didn't expect to have this much level of success. Now, the red carpet's rolled out, but they still need to cross with the spike. That is still an issue. I said they hesitated almost, maybe imagining there's more here. So now Wolves get the in. There's light for them yet. Desperately trying to claw on though, but it's Alpha and Boaster. Hold on, pause. Spike not down, 20 seconds.
One off showstopper as well for Alpha.
I have the spike.
That could be pivotal in the post here.
There it is. Sharp as hell.
Nice!
A lifeline. Oh, Jesus! It's 6 seconds, Boaster. Can you charge him down? Oh my.
Oh, he's faked it.
Mad. Yeah, Lysol's played it like a champion. Beautifully done in the end.
Why?
Tested by Boaster, and he passed the test.
I mean, the paint shell almost causing so many issues.
If there was a second extra for that, showstopper coming in.
Forces them out, but Boaster finds the first. Just can't keep a hold of the spray. Again, the TP past the fleets up. You can see Lysol
that was sick.
Dancing back and forth.
Being told to sit down by Alpha. You don't want to get that man fired up either, right? Like, oof. Back to business, it looks like, keeping it simple. All in towards that A site, maybe excluding one. Both are still disconnected, but still viable. Could be tested again though by Spring, and here we go. Alpha wants space, Mike. And this time, ooh, I thought he was almost out of there, but Wolves holding on. Lysol coming alive for the side. Finally, they're fighting back. As Kron, the last man standing in a 1v4. Spike deep in Wolves territory. You'd need a mistake from Wolves to open that door of chance for Kron.
We'll look for potentially a flank coming through. And no confirmation, I guess, on everybody left standing on Wolves, but firm control of the spike. Chronicle, no way back into this round. I've got to say it, even with that scoreline, look at the funds behind this for Fnatic. It's going to be a real turning point here for Wolves.
Spot on. A little belief goes a long way. For Wolves to try and make Fnatic feel human could be part of the task here.
Yeah.
To be able to remind yourselves, look, we took down Gen G. Well, you know, we've done great things.
To come back to that, it almost felt like the flip of the switch, really. Yeah. When Wolves got back into that game. Well, that map, I should say. The abysmal first half. I mean, this one's not over just yet. Chance to almost improve on that first half performance, but you see a couple of follow-ups here. The crowd
willing it.
Yeah, happy to see a second on the board for Wolves. And in explosive fashion as well. Again, the reveal just not catching. See here, Alpha's even ready for that reveal to ping something on site.
Yep.
Fortunate turn of events, but Wolves pounce on the opportunity.
Again, these sort of things, these sort of moments, a lot of those fans really got behind CFAT BB as well, giving that speech, getting them back on that same page. But to be able to do damage to Fnatic is one thing, to take them out of a half is another. But they have timeouts to play with. First one they're going to be calling here, but also an opportunity for the Wolves coach to have a chat as well. So a bit of a double-edged sword at times, but Fnatic wanting that check-in.
Sure, and maybe, again, we don't know if the comms, a little bit of complacency following up what could be considered a fumble.
Yep.
In that round 9 loss. Still in a fantastic position regardless. Crashies with his ultimate. Kayak have his as well. Obviously the purchase, well, a purchase will be there. Fnatic do want to push all in here in round 11. It's not going to be an awful lot behind this, but a purchase regardless. Side of Wolves, nothing available, but Juicy. See Fat BB being the closest. A chance to potentially see them in round 12. See if there's any real adjustment here from Fnatic, and maybe what we've talked about, some mid-exploration here from Wolves, and Kayak beheading Spring.
Oh, that little bait and switch is filthy. Oh. And look at the tempo from this. Boaster's off. He's in vents.
He's got the spike, by the way.
Yes. Kayak, can you? Oh, it's fine, apparently. Boaster gets away with daylight robbery on the. What has just happened? What? I want to know what happened in that timeout. What was the conversation?
What?
Fnatic look inhuman. YU is on 8. And of course,
Wow.
What the hell just happened in that timeout?
One of those situations where Fnatic just seem to have the enemy playbook to read throughout their timeout. Anticipating this mid-aggression perfectly. Wolves actually double down. Oh. I mean, not much to do in that situation if you're Spring. That's the sort of thing we've asked of Wolves.
Nice. Nice.
A little late in the day. Again, pin our hopes and prayers to a 9-3 half once more for Wolves here on Split.
Sees Pain Shell to begin things, get early control over B main. You're looking at middle though, right? There's a thought of it there with Juicy. Biding their time. No hurry on this one. Maybe expecting a bit of that aggression. And Alpha comes out on top of that damage exchange. So is there a reaction through middle? Juicy wanting to be involved, chomping at the bit here. Spring drawing all eyes towards him. Pressure starting to mount. Closing in, and he has been a godsend for this squad. One of the higher performers throughout that regular season, and now into this, into Toronto. He has been wondrous to witness. About the 50 seconds, no real player drop chip. A mid-walk, that is audacious, and it works. Juicy strikes, Boaster wants one back, but he doesn't get it. But then Alpha, he bails him out, and then they look a little lost.
Nice.
Fine. 3v3. You got to see where they're heading. Nice shot as well. Look at the damage.
Wow.
Kron, how are you allowed to do this?
Slip through Spring. Oh, I get so diligent.
There's nowhere. There's no area to play in, no pocket to play out of. Sewn up, totally Chronicle in full control until then. Spring. Give me a miracle. Show me what you can do. It's lovely, but does he expect it? Absolutely not! There's no escaping Fnatic right now at 10-2.
But not an absolute clinic. Another round that just shows the layers of contingency in Fnatic's game plan. And that said it, even versus Gen G. A tall order to come back to, and an even worse scoreline, to be honest.
Yeah, they are big game players they're up against though, right? To face Fnatic in these sort of situations is incredibly hard. It's uphill by all accounts, and very few people understand what it's like to face a team like this. However, there are a couple of people in the building who know what it's like, and one of them is waiting in the wings with Yinzu. We're going to head over there right now.
Do I have a treat for you guys? I'm now joined by Tens and Kaide. They're in the building indeed. Welcome. First of all, Tens, we have an event in Canada. How exciting is that?
It's honestly amazing. Being able to attend an event that's in my home country. The crowd here has been fantastic. So just the vibes are immaculate.
I'm feeling the vibes, and I'm glad you mentioned the vibes because, Kaide, I saw a little video of you dapping up Fat BB, living all of our dreams out here. What was that like meeting him?
Oh no, he's absolutely incredible. He has really good vibes. I feel like I'm low-key the curse right now though, because it's 10-2 at the moment, but I hope they can bring it back.
It's a best of 5. As you know, Tens, anything can happen in a best of 5. You've been here before. You've also had to watch some stressful games. I saw you in a Paper Rex jersey yesterday. Now, this question came specifically from our good friend, Van Silly. What is more stressful, watching Sen, watching Paper Rex, or watching Kaide's Game Changers games?
Oh my god. I'll just say all of them are stressful. They might be more stressful than playing, honestly. I think watching is really stressful.
Anything you want to add there, Kaide?
For me, personally, it was watching Sen. I don't really get nervous when I play, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're the go. You're the go for that reason. And lastly, there's a lot of crazy things happening on stage, players standing up, so on and so forth. I want to hear from you. Who is winning the vibe game today?
I think right now Boaster is because they're up 10-2, but I know Sufat's going to bring it back.
I also agree.
All right, let's see if they're right and send to the second half.
Can't help but love hearing from Tens there as well, and Kaide just ice cold. Feels no pressure. Light work. All right, all good. And here, checking in on that Coinbase econ report, it is going to be a one-sided affair. You can kind of read it as you see it. No real surprises in that regard.
Painting the picture of some rough purchases to string together for Wolves, and no surprises really. I think we come back to a similar discussion we've had previously. This time around, it's YU that's kind of trailing behind a little bit. The second half, we're looking towards Juicy. He had a fantastic resurgence versus Gen G.
Yes.
Really the pinnacle of that comeback. Spring showing some resilience already here in the first half, putting up some numbers, even at a 10-2 deficit. Goes without saying here, need to get this first round on the board.
Yeah, it is not even just a want, it is a need, a necessity if Wolves want a shot in this. Let's see how it looks at the very beginning. Already Fnatic looking to take control over towards Rem. In exchange, Wolves eyeing up middle. So a slow and steady walk. Taking their time, but on the other side is Kron. Not going to outstay his welcome. Pressure now felt a little towards B main, so they've got a bit of a read here, encouraging Fnatic to get moving.
I think as well, this might be the response to the slow default from Wolves. Immediately on the back of contact there, Fnatic are on the move.
Yep. They've got sight, but not complete control. Fnatic still have a foot in the door, but Wolves, beautiful.
What?
Breaking it down, and now Boaster outgunned. Beautiful from Wolves. This is what the doctor ordered. Now Alpha and Crashy still with a lot of kit to play with and a bit of chip damage. Alpha. If there's anyone to be nasty, it would be him. Oh my god, don't you dare.
Got the reset.
Don't you dare. Another paint shell and another problem. A high-low he can't get out of. And Spring finding some of that form as Wolves need.
Surely asking for a few more on the back of that, but confident start here to the pistol. No hesitation on the way in. Happy to stand their ground, take these gunfights. Boaster, unfortunately, able to find one, make it a little easier for Crashies and Alpha to potentially clean up. First tick in the box for Wolves.
And they can't stop, Mike. They cannot
need to follow
stop.
through here.
They've somehow got to keep Fnatic under their thumb the whole way through. Now, we know they can do this sort of thing. We've seen it, right? We've seen what they can do with a bit of momentum, a bit of belief. But it is going to be round by round, and it's a long road back. You can't have a kayak round against you. You can't have Alpha going off or Kron getting you 3 out of nowhere. None of that can be allowed to happen. So can they cross the T's, dot the I's? Can they truly stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the giants of Valorant?
No, Fnatic have already shown that they can channel this sort of slow pacing. We saw it in the Sentinels game. This is something they're very, very well versed in. Already here, actually, look at the mini-map. Alpha's on the move. Crashy's actually pulled ahead of the site here, but there's bodies here for Fnatic. So Bucky in the hands of Alpha, but he's on the flank. It's going to be difficult to get something going here, but an upgrade to a Ghost.
Yeah, the Ghost goes in hand. It's the 4 other weapons that are the big factor, right? They can't really afford to lose it. Good paranoia sets them up to succeed. Kron does draw blood.
30 seconds.
And he's
time here.
Not really gets overwhelmed so fast. Paint shot from Alpha, still trying, no. So 3 survive. Yes, they lose 1 weapon, Mike, but that's fine.
In the scheme of things, keep that ball rolling in terms of the finances. 3 Bulldogs carried across. Juicy's going to struggle potentially, but you can see Fnatic are desperate to get into sight, tuck themselves in, anticipating the regroup outside A. It's rough here as well for Alpha, actually. YU, a lick of HP. Steps ahead of the paint shell and finds a kill. But now the rifles are here for Fnatic. Juicy actually, there's a stinger here into round 3.
First signs of life toward middle. Slow presence from Spring over towards B main. That'll be Kayak on the other side. Boaster's eyes drawn away. Focus towards what they can really see and feel. The C's in the paint shell don't catch as Kron slips away deeper. And hard to get a bit of a beat on this. Oh, Spring, the timing. Catches Boaster, but a good trade. But this spurs them on, Mike. It looks like they really want to head towards this B site.
And Alpha desperately wanted to get outside of the smoke. He might have a big opportunity here. They're actually going to push into him.
Okay, Wolves are holding on now. Kayak is on the side. Do they then cancel on this? It looks like they want to try and spin through CT. Feeling bold in approach, but they can't get lost in the source here. Kayak getting curious, and he's going to land the shot on YU. That's a problem. Now they're starting to drift a little. 3v3, and Kayak still holding ground. The immovable object. 3 kills in the round, could be on for the ace if he keeps going like this, but dealt with. Juicy unlocks that B site. Now the plant is on the cards.
Utility here for Crashies as well. Kron, we saw him burn up the snake bite. They are grouped as 2 going to try and sweep through. See if that BB going to be called upon in front of first.
He's to back away, and he's done it well. No trade available for Kron there. Has to wait this out now. Maybe a good idea of where both players are, but this crossfire is strong. Juicy, eyes up towards heaven. I thought he'd hold this with him. It's still solid. See if that BB plays it well. Waited, and now
Come back,
stands. The scoreline now not looking impossible. At 5-10, Mike. We might be starting to get a bit of a game here.
Mimicking the first half, the bonus conversion. Rough timing here for Boaster, I think. Just trying to slip a little deeper. The trade comes through, sure, but it's really what gives Wolves something to pin their hope towards B site. A 3-round string, actually. Something else to pin their hopes to. Again, hard work already really done. Get themselves on the board. Start establishing themselves in terms of the finances. In this first ult cycle. Yeah, CUFAT BB probably going to be the first influential ultimate available to them, but not quite yet.
It's very all in so far, isn't it? At least in this round. Boaster, oh, he's found a cubby, he's found a corner. Has he found an opportunity? The Bucky rattles off. Does well on one, but he can't get the follow-up. The site now not fully in control and the spike hindered. The Prowler being sent up towards ramp finds nothing but Alpha waits. The flank eventuality coming in as well. Slow and steady. They have to try and keep them at bay here.
Spring's looking for him, whether there's going to be anything else
Very
to draw
nice.
its attention. But Kayak will fall.
Spotting out Kron as well. They now know one towards CT. They've seen Alpha flying through the air. Dealt with, done for. Wolves are back at the door. 6 rounds looking very likely. Ladies and gents, the Wolves are here. Doing the down trade back to Boaster. We've got a showman on our hands, and Fnatic should be furious about this.
It's just, I mean, he talks about thriving in this sort of scenario. They really come alive when playing from behind. Fnatic will be forced to take a timeout here. It's the operator in hand here for Kayak.
Oh, I'm a happy bunny, Michael. I'm a happy bunny because we actually might get Fnatic pushed here. Because, look, we all like good Valorant. We want a close game. We didn't want to see Wolves go out with a whimper, get lost in the depth of a best-of-5, and fall short against, you know, one of the greats that there is. Right now, though, they're showing why they made it this far. They're showing that vibe. Cameraman's got an easy job these days, huh?
Yeah, the content delivering non-stop in Toronto.
But you are seeing one adjustment here. Well, at least we are. Operator for Kayak. It doesn't feel like Fnatic looks stressed yet, Mike, but they've got to start feeling that this game is not as easy as maybe it felt on that first.
As well, the concern being another round. I mean, especially now when you're getting battered like this 4 in a row, it's tough to really then find a follow-up, to be honest. We're talking about the same thing that Wolves had to deal with. You can't really establish the economy, build up that cushion. Wolves have shown they're happy to tap into pacier XX, but I mean, this being a perfect example now. Way ahead of the curve in terms of Wolves' attack in half.
And Alpha can't really avoid it. He's now been hit by that same pressure that was put down towards Crashies initially. He tried to thread the needle, but the layering was great. So Juicy rewarded. Now Fnatic once again held back. The plant should be next on the cards. Ult-wise, they have nothing here to bank on if you're Fnatic. Gonna keep their heads down. Precarious at the best of times. But the plant's in and the time's on their side.
Got YU towards mid as well. He's just waiting for contact to come through on site. Chronicle guarding it for the time being, but I don't think he's going to find him.
Moster strides in, kicks down the door. He finds it for free, but the trade's good. The look's even better. The Wolves are here, baby, and Kayak really wants to keep that operator. A prized possession, and they've shown real good looks on that side take.
And it's Alpha ahead of these smokes. There's nobody else there to really back him up. Maybe not reading that the full brunt of this execute's coming through main, but I can't help but think it kind of goes against the ethos of an operator coming in here. You don't necessarily want players exposed, isolated like this. It being Alpha in particular as well. Beautiful reveal as well.
Give me fist pump, boys.
It's like I said, with players like YU in the spring, if you give up that first blood and a man advantage, somebody will tuck in. They will not be moving until it gets chaotic on site. And YU demonstrating just that.
They have absolutely iced out Fnatic here. Now, if they can note the operator, they can spot where that's kind of committed to early, it'd be incredibly valuable. Deep contact on the Prowler may feel indicative that someone's been pushed up towards B main.
Again, if you're Fnatic, you don't necessarily want to show it too early. Basically put Wolves in charge of the information. Kayak, desperate to make something work. Walks into the waiting arms of Spring.
Wolves can play this game.
I know exactly where you are.
Good info on the ult as well. Juicy looking to outdo Kron there on the jump spot, but going to keep his life. Not alone in that mid walk too either. It's a 3-2 split as it stands, looking to maybe adjust that now. They want to take towards that B site. Once again, rinse, repeat, it works. But Alpha, excuse me, you've got an operator. Excuse me, Alpha, you have an operator. One is not enough to deny this. And you look at what remains, it's Stingers. Hard to make work if they keep them at arm's length.
Get into the site here, maybe cause some issues, but doesn't look like. I mean, Chronicles just now trying to dig out the late lurk, but we can see Spring and YU, the prime candidates for such a role. This time, up in the front lines. Chance here, potentially, I mean, with the setup for Fnatic to find an exit, but you've already said it, they need to close the gap, really. I mean, the smoke. Can get in, crashes. Daylight robbery here for the operator.
There's no way you know nearly went down there. Kron's like, get down, President.
Yeah,
get down, Mr. President, I've got your life. Neuer's here. It's all good. But still, they keep the operator. But it feels like the poison chalice almost, right? It's just like, who's going to fall with it now? But look at that string of rounds. That's 6 in a row. You know, when we outline the way to get back into these one-sided games, you don't really expect it to happen. When we say it's a mountain to climb, you don't really think they're going to be mountaineers, right? You don't expect them to be sherpering their way up that hill. But as it stands, they're 2 away from tying this up. And then it becomes real. then I'm on board. We have to see what this ult cycle's looking like, though, because Fnatic are very close to having the full hand, and they want Kayak in on this. Fnatic!
भाई 8-10 हो गया भाई.
Quan's already gone down. Juicy doing well here. This is lovely stuff from them. And no chance for that operator to really sing.
Early advantage created here, Wolves. Again, this plays into their hands, allows them to slow the pace, garner some control across the map, and you already know they've created a gap in the defenses. Fnatic spread a little thin here, but Kayak.
Portal closed.
It's the, where's this actually headed? This potentially.
Oh, no way. You got this? Even the observer's getting excited.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
But again, this won't be the first time the Kayak's played this sort of position. But he's done really well there. Nice shot and gets out of there.
I don't like the peek ahead of the ult, but...
Yeah, relax. That's 2 ults now invested. One just to even up that initial trade, and this one, I don't think he's going to find a target, no. So again, they burnt 2 ults in this. If anything, that's an effective trade, and they are instantly rotating towards A.
And they're ahead of the rotation of Fnatic as well.
And Spring going for a lurk, I like that. But Boaster heads up about it. Smart. Good read from Boaster there. But they still have this A site looking very good. Crashies keeping himself somewhat hidden here. 14 seconds as well. He could be the one to change the outcome of this round if he plays it just right. Boaster trying to keep all eyes on him, but the attention now turns. Crashies can't find a player on the plant, but he does take away CFAT BB. Now down to a 2v4, it's unlikely. Why are you looking calm? It's going to be handled, surely. Surely, there it is. Alpha dives in. They're going to make it back up now. Finally breaking in his second half.
बस तभी लेट के देखूंगा मैच.
Lucky here for Wolves to again an opportunity to isolate Crashies here. I don't want to really say a misread of the map because they're able to navigate way around effectively. Actually, Alpha finding Lysol just ahead of getting out of the smoke. Could argue Spring, that's where you really want to see him tuck in and do once more what we've seen YU employ.
भाई बहुत पैसा है वोल्फ के पास.
Said they
बहुत
were
पैसा है.
in a position to capitalize on Fnatic being out of position. See if this continues now. Fnatic, 1 on the board for the second half. Operator still here. A couple of ultimates come online as well. The 2 being the divide and the pit here. Juicy, speaking of ultimates. Showstopper. Oh, Slice or... What?
Wow. What? How is Crashies alive?
Show me another perspective of that.
I don't get it. Because that looked teed up, right? That looked spot on.
Cosmetic rocket, apparently.
Didn't buy the DLC, so why you now? Trying to slowly work his way up middle, but this is difficult, right? They're looking for that opportunity. Can Spring maybe give them one? Trying to slip across here, but there's danger to be had. A deep hold from Fnatic going to make them have to really search far. Double stack towards CT. The site is clear. It's almost lulling them into this false sense of security.
Well, this is better for Fnatic. They're waiting for Wolves to hit a side. Nobody overstepping the mark just yet. Alpha next up here. Line of defense and delivers. Lysol will fall.
Again, this grip towards CT is in play. They know about the players in middle. They don't know there's still 2 waiting patiently. The Bulls did want to try and get ahead and maybe get a pick in their side. So we're looking at CFAT BB and Spring to do what the others couldn't. But a 2v5 is not easy. And the ult wanted. Spring wants something on their side. There's the counter though. Doesn't get dodged either. Spring is in trouble. Trying to layer up that utility, but Alpha flies in from above, drops it down.
My God, yeah.
For Fnatic to claim that 12.
Unfold them for invest in the pit here. Desperate to try and recover what's...
Huh? I don't know if we should. The devs are in the building.
Yeah.
Dan?
Can we get that clip to...
Dan's hiding in the lounge. I mean,
this...
God, he just knows it, doesn't he? Stunning work. And again, it's one thing to get close to the likes of Fnatic, it is another to best them. But they're not done yet, Wolves. There's still a bye here. There's still rounds to be played.
Still an operator here for Juicy. See Kayak Still has one of his own. But map point now for Fnatic. Pick goes up early. Alpha and Kron will play inside this. Got to be careful there though. I mean, looking for Kron, and it's Alpha catching a stray or two. But now we'll tuck in. Boast has got the divide here as well, so another good defensive ultimate. The gauntlet laid out in front of Wolves.
Whoa!
Alpha, though, way ahead of the mark once more, trying to find
Nice.
something, but Kayak evens the odds.
Yeah, I love that reaction from Kayak to take space back on the other side of the map. And now it feels very indicative of this hit towards the side. Boaster going to struggle to stay alive. Doesn't
Whoa!
How did he get two BB in that? I do not know.
Oh, no.
Juicy, still
What the
holding
hell,
on
bhai?
here. Doesn't want to give this up yet, but look at Crash's position, Mike. That could be the checkmate. It makes me nervous. Are you going to even consider it at this point? Juicy might be. Does he think this is still happening? So much util as well. Oh my god, Juicy couldn't deal with it in time. And now they're herded on the site. Kayak closing in as well. Prowler posted. Shot!
Oh!
Missed! And an opportunity gained as Crashy's called upon. He can't do it! And Wolves stay
My
alive.
god, yaar.
Beautiful recovery here. And finding Alpha desperate to try and attack the back line of Wolves. Maybe to still find success towards site. I mean, how Boaster gets that kill? What even? Oh, well, yeah.
One of those.
Spike down.
That's
B.
rough. For Juicy. Again, he was the person we were talking about in terms of resilience, in terms of his ability to bounce.
भाई ये लोग तो वैंडल से खेलते ही नहीं है, देख रहे हो? Wolves में सबने स्पेक्ट वो लिया हुआ है, फैंटम लिया हुआ है.
21 for Wolves. Still 3 rounds.
सिर्फ एक वैंडल है, वो भी भाई
Oh, but this just feels nasty.
अल्फर के पास है.
Boaster has done this again. And they have no idea. Doesn't wait. He wants this done. For Alpha instantly posts his ult as well in a 4v3. And they've been stalled out now.
Boaster falling though. Guess Wolves now, they don't have to run that utility gauntlet. Why are you tucked up again? Expect him to wait for contact. Kayak still committed over towards side A, and Crashes actually digs it out nice and early.
Yeah, the Prowler was just fantastic. And now Alpha feeling unfazed by the presence. A high-low setup. He gets cleared on one, but down to the talisman for this side for Wolves. He can't do it. Closes the account. It's map 1 done. Wolves still showing they are deadly, Mike.
Absolutely.
चलो यार,
Another comeback once more. It's just not there.
मैं जाता हूँ स्ट्रिंग ऑफ करके आराम से लेट के देखूंगा. बाय, गुड नाइट.
Certainly are.
So it rains. Bye.